प्रिजाइडिंग ऑफिसर, ये है इसके अंदर रूल्स 20 के अंदर।
Any verified voter may propose or second the name of any candidate.
नहीं तो आप कह रहे हैं कोई नया मंशूर इनका बना है?
No, my lord, what happens is that
आप कह रहे हैं मैं मानता नहीं हूं मगर कोई नया मंशूर है?
no, I'm saying, my lord, the constitution is the constitution of 2019. The law requires that the elections should take place in accordance with the constitution.
वो तो हम समझ गए, मगर फिर आपने अभी कुछ जिक्र किया कि इनने कोई नया मंशूर इनका मौकिफ है।
These rules of 2020 are framed by the election commission for its own internal working. That is there on page 192 of your lordship's file. They specifically say 192. Under the heading functions after number 6.
192?
Page 192, part 1, my lord.
वो तो फेडरल इलेक्शन कमीशन।
जी सर, उसका अगर आप
ये तो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है।
सर, if you lordship looks at the middle,
bylaws को बता रहा है, these are not the rules, bylaws for
सर यही है।
नहीं, sorry, I missed the point.
Sir, the rules which are here or the bylaws which are here.
नहीं, जरा एक सेकंड, जरा आप वजाहत कर दीजिए। आप जब रूल्स बात कर रहे हैं तो इलेक्शन कमीशन ऑफ पाकिस्तान की बात कर रहे हैं?
No, PTI के own
PTI rules.
फिर आप ये वजाहत कीजिए ना जरा।
My lord.
जी।
So the federal under the heading functions F. Your lordship will see F.1. The Federal Election Commission shall develop the bylaws for its internal working in accordance with the Constitution and notify the same on the website.
तो आइन इनका वही है।
आइन वही है, आइन नहीं बदल सकते, अपनी इंटरनल वर्किंग के लिए
नहीं बदल सकते हैं, कोई बदलना चाहे बदल।
मतलब then they have to amend it in accordance with the procedure.
amendment file करनी पड़ेगी आपके पास।
And then they have to file.
What turns on this point of yours?
My lord, that these rules as such will not trump the constitution.
Which rules are these?
These the rules framed by the election commission of PTI.
Where are those?
Those are at page 98 onwards in part 1.
So this probably will be their defense. I take it.
This may be their defense. They rely on Rule 28.
This, I presume, will be their defense, correct?
My lord, yes, and it says, your lordship may see this probably.
What comes in the way of fair and free elections with these rules? What is so offensive about them?
My lord,
that you don't like them?
My lord, I'd like to point out to your lordship Rule 28. In case of any vacancy in the Federal Election Commission, including Chief Election Commissioner, the Secretary General or the Chairman shall notify Ad Hoc Election Commission to propose to comprise of Chief Election Commissioner and as many members as may be necessary for holding intra-party election. So
इसकी तारीख क्या है इनके रूल्स की?
2020
They simply say 2020. We don't know the date, my lord.
Even if we read this, how does it change anything?
My lord,
they are not relying on these rules because this is regarding ad hoc. They don't say I'm an ad hoc commissioner. They're saying I'm a full-fledged commissioner.
In the ECP, yes. Relied on 28.
Sir,
should notify ad hoc election commission. So this is not their case of ad hoc.
I make this submission because before the ECP, they relied on this Rule 28 to say.
I don't understand.
To say that the fallback position is that you could regard him as an ad hoc. In case of any vacancy in the Federal Election Commission, including Chief Election Commissioner, the Secretary General or the Chairman shall notify Ad Hoc Election Commission to comprise of Chief Election Commissioner and as many members as may be necessary for holding intra-party election.
तो पहली बात तो वैकेंसी होना है, अगर हम इसको मान भी लेते हैं, चलिए इसको मान लेते हैं फॉर द टाइम बीइंग। दूसरी बात है सेक्रेटरी जनरल या चेयरमैन नॉमिनेट करेंगे, मगर फिर भी वन मैन शो तो नहीं होगा, फिर भी मेंबर्स तो होंगे ना, फिर भी and as many members as may be necessary.
Yes, my lord.
तो वो कह सकते हैं जी चलिए हमारे पास 6 नहीं है, 4 कर लेते हैं. For instance, I don't know.
There are two submissions over here, my lord. One, that even this Rule 28 does not envisage a one-man commission. The second submission is that under Chapter 9 on page 192, the requirement of the Constitution is that such members are to be co-opted by the Commission itself That's one. And secondly, that insofar as the Chief Election Commissioner is concerned, he can't be co-opted. He has to go back to the electoral process.
So they are resting the case on Rule 28 or some other one?
Before the commission, they rested on Rule 28, and the commission, therefore, in its order says,
No, is anything else which may save them, help them, which you are opposed to?
my lord, your lordship may see page 61, part of the Election Commission's order.
No, just tell us. We don't want to see
Yes,
it.
my lord, there they rely on it, and
Really,
this-
let's be fair. Is there anything here which will help them?
my lord, our submission is no. Our submission
I'm
is
asking as counsel, not as
No, my
representing ECP.
my submission as counsel is that the rules, insofar as they are inconsistent with the
ये वो तो
Constitution,
हम समझ गए point
Sir,
को ना.
and
But
this-
let's say they are proper rules.
And if-
How will
if- even-
how will it help them? Please tell us those provisions.
our submission is that even if they are, then under Rule 28 itself, the body has to be an election commission. It can't be one person. So they have to explain to
जब
you.
अगर वो दूसरी बात आप ये एडॉक नहीं कह रहे हैं कि मैं एडॉक हूँ.
That's the third one.
हो सकता है कि जैसे हमारे कलीग ने पूछा कि भाई कभी कभी हो जाता है कुछ फॉर वेरियस रीजंस इमरजेंसी ये वो वगैरह कोई बीमार हो गया कुछ हो गया तो वो एडॉक चले उन्हें अपॉइंट कर दिया मगर यहाँ वो एडॉक का केस ही नहीं है तो आप उनका केस क्यों प्लीड कर
No,
रहे हैं?
I am only pointing out that in paragraph 16 of its order, the Election Commission notes that they admitted.
I don't think it's a relevant point.
No, the Election Commission noted that they admitted that this was in violation of the
Chale, have you
Constitution.
concluded?
My lord, may I draw your lordship's attention to a few paragraphs of the Election Commission's order? I may not read it, your lordship.
Before that, can you show us the order under challenge again now?
The High Court order, my lord?
Ji.
My lord, yes. That, the impugned order of the High Court is at page 28. The operative part starts at the foot of the page for the reasons, part 1, page 28, part 1, for the reasons to be recorded later and subject to amplifications and explanations made therein
Yeah, but where do they say anything about the elections?
above.
In the whole dispute, as I've understood it, I may have understood everything wrong, is the validity of 2nd December election. Where is the declaration of the High Court saying that they were in accordance with law or their constitution or they were not?
They don't say anything, my lord, they simply
First you have to hold that, then whether the symbol of bat will be given or not, that is a subsequent relief. First the initial declaration has to be there. Where is that?
That is not-
Let's read it again, the whole order. We hold.
and declare that the impugned order of the Election Commission of Pakistan dated 22nd December 2023 be passed in case number as illegal without any lawful authority and of no legal effect.
But that still doesn't mean that there has been an election.
No, it
चलिए
doesn't.
आपका order उड़ गया.
जी.
अब number 2 पढ़ें.
The Election Commission of Pakistan is directed to forthwith publish the certificate filed by the petitioner on its website in terms of section 209 of the Election Act 2017.
इससे पहले declaration कहाँ है? Election were in accordance with law.
There is none, my lord.
So this will only follow that declaration.
There is no such declaration.
Yes, the elections were held proper, whatever, and then issue the certificate and issue the election symbol. But I find that declaration missing.
That is missing. My lord, I can only presume. They presume to be acting. The presumption appears to be that under 209, under section 209, once the certificate is given, that is conclusive of the matter. The Election Commission cannot see whether the elections were fair or foul, proper or improper, in accordance with law or otherwise.
जमहूरियत के तकाजे पूरे नहीं हो रहे हैं. देखिए इस सब चीज का जहां तक मैं समझ चुका हूँ कुछ चीजें टेक्निकल है ये करो ये कागज फाइल करो सेक्रेटरी जनरल ये फला चले वो हम सब नजरअंदाज कर देते हैं. एक बुनियादी चीज है जमहूरियत मुल्क में भी होना चाहिए और जमहूरियत पार्टी में भी होना चाहिए. ठीक है आपको टॉलरेट करना होता है गिव एंड टेक कभी आपके मुखालिफिन भी आ जाते हैं कभी कभी तो बुनियादी बात तो जमहूरियत की है. आर्टिकल 17 तो यही कह रहे हैं ना तो आर्टिकल 17 का डिक्लेरेशन तो दें हाई कोर्ट। आपने कहा ये आपका इलेक्शन मुस्तरद हम करते हैं, हम इसको नहीं मानते, ठीक है, आपने गलत कर दिया, तो हाई कोर्ट फिर इसको ठीक करे ना कि नहीं ये इलेक्शन सही थे।
That finding is not there.
अगर वो इलेक्शन सही थे फिर उनको सर्टिफिकेट भी उनका मानना चाहिए, फिर उनको इंतखाबी निशान भी देना चाहिए, फिर तो सब चीजें फॉलो करेंगी ना थ्रू। That are consequential reliefs, not the main relief.
This is the executive problem that we are facing.
Yes.
We do not know where their reasons will go.
उन्होंने कहा reasons amplify कर सकते हैं, but this is a fundamental prayer which seems to be subject to, I'm saying it aloud, so they make a note of it and they address it. Where is that declaration? Because the prayers you will see kindly declare that the elections held on 2nd of December 2023 were in accordance with the constitution of the political party and in accordance with law and the whatever.
Because they will amplify the reasons within the ambit of the short order.
And then the next step will be and consequential relief, including accepting the requisite certification, issuing the symbol, doing 500 other things if they're required to be done. But those can follow, or even if they're not written, those can be implied. But the declaration can't be implied, or can it be implied?
My Lord, there is no such declaration. And also, if your Lordship looks at the petition, they didn't even pray over there that the elections were held properly.
Are you sure?
There is no...
petition kahan hai unki?
My Lord, your Lordship will see page 49, which is the prayer clause.
Please read them.
My Lord, hold and declare that the impugned order is without jurisdiction, without lawful authority and illegal, and as a consequence thereof, set it aside forthwith. Hold and declare that proceedings by ECP to question the validity of the IPEs on the basis of...
IPE क्या होता है?
My Lord, intra-party elections.
It's, I don't know why people don't write the whole thing, intra-party elections.
On the basis of any objections, filed by any persons were quorum non juris, illegal and without lawful authority.
I can't understand. Hold and declare.
Declare that proceedings by ECP to question the validity of the IPEs on the basis by any persons were quorum non juris, illegal and without lawful authority.
Why? I mean, anybody can go and complain. So I was just reading why.
My Lord, because...
I don't understand this prayer. Chale, next go to the C prayer.
Yes.
Find
and declare that election symbol has been illegal and unlawfully been withdrawn, which is inter alia violation of fundamental rights of the petitioners, including Article 17 and Article 25 of the Constitution. Direct the Election Commission of Pakistan to forthwith publish the certificate of PTI on website of ECP as required by Section 209, paragraph 3, in the interest of justice, and to restore its election symbol forthwith. In the meanwhile, suspend the impugned order, so on and so forth.
They have not sought the declaration.
They have not, my Lord. The reason appears to be, if your Lordship takes a look at page 40.
Because if they get a declaration, they may have left out C, D, E.
Yes.
And I would say the implied prayers, and you have to do that once the declaration has been given of free and fair or whatever elections they've held, or in compliance with their own constitution.
You see in paragraph A, I think
Yes.
they will,
Yes, my Lord.
obviously they will respond to
Page 43.
I would like to know their
lawful
response.
authority.
My Lord,
They have challenged the authority as well as the jurisdiction. Now they has to explain us whether
That
the
is
ECP
the-
can check the inter-party elections or not at this stage, and whether it was a voidable or
that is the central point.
negligible.
I wanted to draw your Lordship's attention to ground A.
इसीलिए इधर वो ऑर्डर आ जाएगा लाहौर हाई कोर्ट का लर्नेड सिंगल जज का। उन्होंने ये बात की कि ये फ्रेज उज़क़ में दे सकता हूँ कि मतलब स्ट्राइक डाउन कर दूं इलेक्शन एक्ट के कौन से दो सेक्शंस थे,
G 209 and 215(5).
वो उनकी वहां तक तो बात अब समझ आई मुझे जाकर के कि उन्होंने क्यों कहा। अब शायद समझ आ रही है बात को। चले, आपकी बात हम मौके समझ गए, कोई और बात नहीं है तो हम आगे बढ़ें।
But may I just show to your Lordship ground A? That is the case they are setting up, and that's why they are not seeking the declaration of the election. According to them, ECP has no jurisdiction to challenge the internal appointments of officials of PTI or set aside PTI's intra-party election held on 2nd of December 2023 and declare them void. As such, the impugned order is not sustainable in law. ECP is not a court of law and cannot question the appointment made by any political party or examine the validity of a political party's intra-party election.
But doesn't these prayers violate the constitution then?
Our submission is yes.
Because you are saying something, I'll do whatever I want to do.
Yes.
I mean, contrary to my own constitution, I don't know. I would want certainly assistance of Hamid Khan Sahab. And be prepared to be clean bold, Mr. Makhdoom Ali Khan.
My lord, may I just, 2 lines from this page, ground B, last 2 lines. They talk about the role of the Election Commission. Only role is to keep a record of the party's constitution and changes, then keep record of elected officers, record sources of funds and campaign
Now,
finance.
can you quickly go through the provisions of the Election Commission in the Constitution of Pakistan?
My lord,
Start from there and proceed with the law.
my lord, yes.
Quickly.
Yes, my lord. Your lordship may turn.
I'm sure you're tired standing up, but
My
we
lord,
at least have the luxury of sitting down. But anyway.
my lord, if your lordship may graciously take a look at section articles 213 onwards is the Election Commission, but the relevant
230 or 230?
213, my lord, 213 on is the provisions relating to Election Commission. The relevant one over here would be 218, subsection 3.
No, but the whole, ye pura chapter elections pe.
Ji, sir.
Part 7.
Yes, sir. And 218.3, it shall
213 hai? Haan.
to 218, paragraph 3, it shall be the duty of the Election Commission to organize and conduct the election and to make such arrangements as are necessary to ensure that the election is conducted honestly, justly, fairly, in accordance with law, and that corrupt...
ये तो general elections की बात है.
Then, sir,
Inter-party election का जिक्र है इसमें कहीं?
सर इसमें नहीं है, सिर्फ एक तरह से आता है 219, the commission shall be charged with the duty of, and if your lordship may turn to clause E, such other functions as may be specified by an act of Majlis Shura Parliament.
अब वो जो इलेक्शन एक्ट है उसको इन
अच्छा, तो ये आ रहा है 219E के जरिए.
E के जरिए इलेक्शन एक्ट 2017.
या तो इसको चैलेंज करें.
Yes.
अच्छा, एक तो ये हो गया. अब बुनियादी हकूक, इन्होंने 2 बुनियादी हकूक का तस्करा किया है अपनी प्रेयर में. एक है 17 और एक है 25.
My lord, on Article 70.
एक जरा सी बात सुन लीजिए ना. 17 कहता है कि हर शख्स को इलेक्शन में वोट डालने का हक होगा और पॉलिटिकल पार्टी बनाने का हक होगा.
सर,
इसमें तो कोई आपकी कोई राय, मनफी राय तो नहीं है ना?
नहीं सर.
हाँ?
No sir, not at all.
अच्छा, फिर 25 क्या कहते हैं? सबको आप बराबर ट्रीट करेंगे.
Sir,
इस पे भी आपकी कोई?
not at all. No.
तो ये जो सिंबल वगैरह का जो जिक्र है ये सारा इलेक्शन एक्ट में आता है.
My lord.
सिंबल का जिक्र कहाँ आता है इलेक्शन एक्ट में?
Election
सिंबल
Act,
कहते हैं उसको, क्या कहते हैं?
Chapter 12 of the Election Act. ये rules मेरे पास भाई.
इलेक्शन
212 के बाद ही है.
जी सर.
आई में तो उसका तस्कर नहीं है ना?
नहीं सर.
जी.
Sir, allocation of symbols is 214. The Commission shall prescribe a list of election symbols for allocation to political parties, and candidates and the symbols in the list shall be visibly and perceptually different from each other. 215. Notwithstanding anything contained in any other law, a political party enlisted under this Act shall be eligible to obtain an election symbol for contesting elections for Majlis Shura Parliament, provincial assemblies or local governments on submission of certificates and statements referred to in sections 202, 206, 209 and 210. If your lordship may see the next provision, a combination of enlisted political parties will get symbols And then, if your lordship may see 5, if a political party or parties to whom show cause notice has been issued under subsection 4 fails to comply with the provisions of section 209 or section 210, the commission may, after affording it or them an opportunity of being heard, declare it or them ineligible to obtain an election symbol for election to Majlis-e-Shura Parliament, Provincial Assembly or a local government, and the Commission shall not allocate an election symbol to such political party or combination of political parties in subsequent elections.
Is it your case that the only reason political parties will comply with any direction of the election commission to hold election is when you hold this stick in one hand? Otherwise, they'll say, we won't hold elections.
Otherwise,
or is there some other mechanism also?
My lord, there is a mechanism that if given the time frame in their own constitution, if they
वो तो आगे पीछे हो सकता है जैसे आपने अब वो वाली बहस तो हमारे सामने नहीं है आपने साल दे दिया उनको
उस टाइम फ्रेम पे भी हम उनको सिर्फ फाइन कर सकते हैं और कुछ नहीं कर सकते वो छोटा सा फाइन है वो दे के आगे बढ़ जाएंगे बट इफ वी वांट टू एनफोर्स आर्टिकल 208 elections within a political party and 209 then the elections should be in accordance with the constitution of a political party. If we don't have the power under 215(5) then these provisions will be purely advisory in nature. There will be no obligation on political party to comply with it because this election.
मुझे याद आ रहा है वो धरना केस में इलेक्शन कमीशन ने कोई बात की थी पता नहीं उन्होंने कहा था कॉस्मेटिक है फिर उन्हें अपोलोजाइज किया कि लॉ इज नॉट कॉस्मेटिक आई डोंट नो व्हाट प्रोविजन देयर इज देयर वाज समथिंग मेंशन्ड देयर व्हिच टुक ग्रेट एक्सेप्शन टू दैट हाउ कैन यू टॉक अबाउट द लॉ कॉस्मेटिक यू आर बाउंड बाय द लॉ व्हिच गिव्स यू द पावर्स आल्सो
and that's part of your lordship's judgment and we'll place that judgment on the record that this is what your lordship
that's not relevant to this case so is it
my lord it's relevant to this case and there are a number of other determinations by this honorable decisions by this honorable court where this honorable court has said that the election commission is a body which has been created to ensure that elections are held in a fair manner.
No, not the general elections. Inter-political party वाले.
My lord, intra-party पर भी judgment.
वो वाले judgment दीजिए.
उनका वैसे इसमें और भी कोई judgment है जिसमें ये the question of inter-party elections were made subject matter of any judgment.
My lord, your lordship may see this.
In which violation was treated so grave.
My lord, if your lordship see where the observations are, this is PLD 212 Supreme Court. PLD 212 Supreme Court 681.
PLD 12 ये आपकी बुकलेट में है?
जी सर, टैब 8.
ये वाली बुकलेट.
ये आफ्ताब अहमद खान शेरपॉप केस आप कह रहे हैं ये कौन सा?
My lord.
नंबर कौन सा होता है?
My lord, टैब 8.
Tab 1.
Tab
8.
Okay. 8 means workers party.
Yes, my lord.
ये क्या फरमाता है? Relevant?
My lord, paragraph 42, I'll read 40 later, but 42, the parliament has framed different laws to effectuate the above constitutional provisions and to regulate elections to the national and provincial assemblies. ROPA reiterates and further vests the election.
In material terms, is a vast difference between ROPA and the present election act.
My
these
lord,
provisions, कोई खास फर्क है वही है.
My lord, some of these provisions are new, but otherwise it's
only 215 is new, otherwise all the rest.
All the rest are the same, my lord, except for 5, subsection 5 of 215. But your lordship.
No, has it been, was there in ROPA also 215.5?
No, in ROPA there was no 215.5.
215.5 has not been challenged.
No, my lord.
Check.
My lord, regulate and check intra-part, your lordship will see further vest the election commission with the responsibilities and powers to inter alia regulate and check intra-party affairs and actions taken by candidates and parties in anticipation of and on election day, resolve all election disputes, declare the election void, so on and so forth. The last 3 lines, the law therefore entrusts the election commission with exclusive, broad and extensive powers to attend to all issues related directly and ancillary to the election process.
Next case.
Agla pe side.
Sir, Hanif Abbas ki-
My lord, yes, my lord, your lordship's judgment in the Suo case number 7 of 2017, PLD 2019.
दूसरी बुकलेट
Supreme
में
Court, my lord, it's in volume 1, tab 9.
इसमें क्या आपने कहा?
Sir, on page 343 of tab 9, paragraph 33, the Election Commission is a constitutional body and the Constitution stipulates that the Election Commission shall ensure that the election is conducted honestly, justly, fairly and in accordance with law and that corrupt practices are guarded against. The Election Commission is also required to undertake such other functions as may be specified by an act of Majlis-e-Shura Parliament. Article 17(3) of the Constitution requires political parties to account for the source of their funds, and Section 211 of the Election Act demands that detail of election expenses be provided. The Election Commission confirmed that TLP did not account for its fund and election expenses, but surprisingly professes its helplessness because the law according to it is cosmetic in nature.
And so this is what I recalled.
The Election Commission should disabuse itself that constitutional and legal provisions are cosmetic. The responsibilities placed on the Election Commission by the Constitution and the law must be fulfilled. They are not optional.
इसमें तो वो इलेक्शन एक्सपेंसेस वाली बात नहीं है.
नहीं, इसमें इलेक्शन एक्सपेंसेस वाली बात नहीं, but there's a provision which
या आपके पास कुछ चल भी तो रहा था ना मैटर, हम अखबारों में पढ़ते थे क्या एक्सपेंसेस वाला केस, उसका क्या बना?
What they give-
Funding या क्या?
They found violation.
they found a violation, my lord.
हाँ?
They found a violation.
नहीं, वो उसका बना क्या ना, हतमी नतीजा क्या बना उसका?
कौन-सी वाली का? जो contribution वाला केस में हमने finding देखी।
वो किधर है
वो सर
वो उनको पता होगा वो.
उसमें सर हमने रिपोर्ट दी थी.
नहीं, ये ने क्या हतमी फैसला क्या हुआ इसमें? फैसला रिपोर्ट नहीं पूछ रहे.
The commission found out that there were funds that were received from sources prohibited under law,
बनना
and a
क्या?
show cause notice issued. उसका final फैसला नहीं आया show cause का to my knowledge. That is still pending.
फैसला नहीं आएगा क्या मतलब?
जी कानून की रिक्वायरमेंट ये थी कि पहले इलेक्शन कमीशन ये तयन करेगा कि क्या आया प्रोहिबिटेड सोर्सेज से पैसे आए हैं, अगर आए हैं तो शो कॉज करेगा. कमीशन ने शो कॉज कर दिया, उसमें फिर शो कॉज प्रोसीडिंग्स अभी तक पेंडिंग है, उससे कोलैटरल लिटिगेशन होती रही. और आई अंडरस्टैंड
ये तो कब से चल रहा है?
जी 2014 से.
उसमें सर ये अभी एक सिंगल बेंच का फैसला था सर विद योर परमिशन, और उन्होंने कहा कि आप एविडेंस रिकॉर्ड करें which we have challenged that we have already undertaken the exercise and we need not to further record evidence. There is a judgment of a single bench of the Honorable Islamabad High Court. We have challenged that through ICA.
9 साल हो गए अभी तक नहीं हो रहा है.
Sir, there are multiple litigations. Our orders are challenged one after another, and there are.
चले जी, and please proceed.
My lord, this is the.
How long will you take? I hope shortly.
My lord, very short. PLD 2018, Supreme Court 189. This is
2018.
Supreme Court 189. This is at tab 7 of this volume 1, which your lordship was just reading. Page is 238. Relevant page is page 238. Your lordships on page 238 notice clause E of article 219 of the Constitution, and the last 4 words on this page. The ECP is an independent and autonomous body which exercises executive and regulatory powers derived from the Constitution. Though it has the power to appoint election tribunals and so on and so forth, my lord, the ECP itself is a supervisory body which exercises regulatory and administrative powers under the Constitution and the law. The next paragraph, my lord, the 5th line, your lordships, we have highlighted that for your lordships as well. Besides being a limb of the executive that is charged with the duty to conduct and oversee elections in the country, we find that the ECP must necessarily possess the power to collect facts, information and data that enable it to properly and effectively perform such duty. Such a capability represents the constitutional and inherent legal power of ECP. Therefore, in exercise of its powers under Article 6 of the PPO read with Rule 6, the ECP has all the necessary authority to ask for and collect the requisite information and facts that enable it to decide and determine whether the contributions or donations accepted by a political party are prohibited under Article 6(3). Without such power, we are of the opinion that the ECP's power to decide as to whether a political party is receiving contributions or donations from sources prohibited under Article 6(3) ebit would for all.
Which party was this?
My lord, it was the case of PTI. This was a case.
ये judgment तो ये 18 का है, अभी तक इस पे अमल नहीं हुआ है,
Sir, not as yet.
right?
Such a result would be against the clear command of Article 17(3).
Are you disregarding a judgment of the Supreme
No,
Court?
my lord, we have not. We have then proceeded accordingly.
वो proceedings हुई हैं।
That those proceedings have taken place, which my learned friend Mr. Ahmed Hassan was informing your lordship about.
The show cause proceedings are still pending. My complaint to the commission that the funds were being
फैक्ट्स पे नहीं जाए ना,
जी।
अभी तो इसमें तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट डायरेक्शन दे रहा है ईसीबी को कि काम करो इसका, तो क्यों नहीं किया? ये तो 2018 का जजमेंट है।
for the reason stated कि जी collateral litigation and there is no other reason to my mind.
ये सुप्रीम कोर्ट का ऑर्डर है।
जी बिल्कुल सही बात।
चलिए अगला बताइए।
Paragraph 47, we find it hard to fathom the contention that the intention behind the PPO and the rules is to take away the administrative and regulatory power of the ECP derived from the Constitution to call for any record, information or data from a political party to ascertain the sources of its contributions and donations and to place such power exclusively in the hands of a party appointed chartered accountant. Learned Counsel has not been able to show us from any provision of the PPO and the rules framed thereunder, nor from any other principle of law laid down by this court, that failure by the ECP to object the audited statement of account of a political party before its gazette publication would tantamount to the acceptance of the said accounts, and that thereafter the ECP would become functus official.
चलिए आगे बढ़े, अगला
My lord,
बताइए।
48 also I just refer, that has been highlighted. My lord, the next judgment is at tab 13, that's a PLD 2018, Islamabad 300. That's a judgment of a learned Sikh
चलें,
judge.
छोड़ें।
We have
सुप्रीम
highlighted
कोर्ट
the
के बता
relevant
दें।
portions.
यही तीन आप कहना चाह रहे हैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट के, या कोई और भी है?
These are cases, 35 cases which ECP filed CPs.
जी वो करें जी इधर गया। My lord, may I just submit that to conclude on this proposition, our respectful submission is that the duty of the ECP to declare that a political party is ineligible for an election symbol when it fails to hold intra-party elections in accordance with its constitution is actually made redundant by the judgment of the Peshawar High Court, and so also are sections 209 read with section 215(5). Because if we do not have that power, then it has far-reaching consequences. We cease to be a body which can have any control over intra-party elections.
बस
My lord, this was the submission on this. There are couple of...
ये आपका राइट ऑफ रिप्लाई भी होगा ना?
जी sir.
अब आप हमें भी जरा
May I just point out one thing? That recent...
आप कोई और बात बताएं।
My lord, the preliminary objection that they have taken, I can...
देखिए हम आपको जो आप अभी तक आपसे बात समझ आई है वो सारी बात घूमती है इनकी अपनी इलेक्शन के बारे में, ठीक है? ये इन्होंने केस जरा कहीं और ले गए, बट बुनियादी बात जो आपका एतराज था इनका, और यह एतराज आज से नहीं, मतलब जब ये हुकूमत में भी थे कि भाई आप इलेक्शन तो करा लें अपनी पार्टी के, तो उन्होंने कहा जी हाँ देर हो गई वगैरह वगैरह, हमें साल दे दें, आपने साल दे दिया। फिर आपका कहना ये कि आपने जो इलेक्शन कराए सही नहीं है। ये बुनियादी सी बात है। अगर वो इलेक्शन सही है तो मेरे हिसाब से मे बी सब्जेक्ट टू करेक्शन, बाकी रिलीफ विल ऑटोमेटिकली फॉलो। फिर सर्टिफिकेशन आप लाजिम है, आप पे इनका इंतखाबी निशान देना लाजिम है आप पे, वो तो मेरे ख्याल में ऐसी चलेंगी। और अगर ये नहीं दिखा सके कि इलेक्शन उन्होंने सही तौर पे किया है तो शायद इनको फिर कॉन्सिक्वेंस सफर करेंगे। अब दो तीन कानूनी बातें भी खड़ी हो गई हैं। एक बुनियादी कानूनी बात है, खान साहब आप ये नोट कर लें, एक बुनियादी कानूनी बात है कि डिक्लेरेशन इन्हें नहीं मांगा कि भाई जो हमने इलेक्शन कराया है बिल्कुल सही है। वो उन्होंने कॉन्सिक्वेंशियल रिलीफ पे चले गए। कॉन्सिक्वेंशियल रिलीफ को उर्दू में क्या फरमाएंगे? नताइज और
अमामिल।
ठीक है, तो वो ज्यादा फोकस उधर चला गया है, वो बेसिक बात खत्म हो गई है, पहली बात। दूसरी बात ये है कि वो जो अभी हमने अच्छा एक बात हम वजाहत कर लें, अभी मालूम किया था कि जो ये 2 पिटिशंस थी, ये अभी मजीद मालूम हुआ है कि वो आज लगी थी और आज उन्होंने बैरिस्टर अली जफर साहब ने तारीख ली है दोनों में। ये आज की पोजीशन है। तो जब एक मसला वहां खड़ा हुआ है तो वही मसला पिशार जा सकता है या नहीं जा सकता है।
My lord,
तो तीसरी बात जो आई है वो इसको नजरअंदाज कर दें कि अगर ये पिटिशंस ना भी थी, पिशावर हाई कोर्ट के पास टेरिटोरियल या कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल जुरिसडिक्शन था। इस पे आपने हमें कोई बात नहीं मदद की है।
sir, may I very quickly, my lord, submit?
इनका कहना है क्योंकि हमने इलेक्शन इधर करा है इसलिए पिशावर हाई कोर्ट का जुरिसडिक्शन है।
ये इसको सेक्शन 20 CPC जो है ना, द कॉज ऑफ एक्शन पार्टली और होली अराइज,
My lord, yes.
basically that has been interpreted in so many judgments of the Supreme Court with regard to Article 199 and territorial jurisdiction. उस पे भी आप अपना, क्योंकि वो आपने रेस किया है तो
Sir, the direct judgment on the point and observation of this honorable court is in the case of Lieutenant General Salahuddin Tirmizi versus Election Commission of Pakistan, where first the
Is it in the books?
My lord, it's there. It's tab 6 in volume 1. And the relevant observation is at page 760.
PLD
PLD 2008 Supreme Court 735. Page 760. I have highlighted the portion, my lord, but I'll read it. 760.
was there some previous cases also?
Yes. In the present case, Election Commission, while discharging functions in connection with the affairs of Federation within the territorial jurisdiction of Islamabad High Court, passed an order in respect of NA20 Mansehra, a constituency of province of NWFP. Therefore, the objection relating to the jurisdiction and maintainability of writ petition before the Islamabad High Court would be of no significance. It may be pointed out that in the light of principle laid down by this court regarding the exercise of such jurisdiction in such situations, the order passed by the ECP, which functions at Islamabad in respect of the constituency of province of NWFP, would be challengeable both before Islamabad High Court and Peshawar High Court. This concurrent jurisdiction is, however, subject to the rule of propriety, according to which a High Court having jurisdiction in a matter, if it has exercised such jurisdiction, the other High Court which has also jurisdiction in the matter may restrain from exercising its jurisdiction. In view thereof, in the present case, propriety demanded that subsequent order passed by Election Commission of Pakistan should have been challenged before the Islamabad High Court, and the jurisdiction of Peshawar High Court should not have been invoked.
पुराने वाली ब्लॉग है, संदल बाग है.
जी सर, they are all there. This I point out because this is directly an Election Commission case where it was first challenged. The first order was challenged in Islamabad. The second order was challenged in Peshawar High Court. The Supreme Court
They have also said that the concurrent jurisdiction for the both courts.
they've said there is concurrent jurisdiction with both courts, but propriety is that if you have gone to a court once in the case of the first order, then for the second order you should also go to that court.
In concurrent jurisdiction, because the order was passed for the constituency of KPK, therefore they held that the concurrent jurisdiction.
Yes, my lord.
But what do you say in this case where the order has been passed at Islamabad and the elections and the
But this
elections
order is for the whole of Pakistan.
This order is for the whole of Pakistan. It can be challenged.
Now, देखिए उनका elections. Suppose you found that the elections of a political party, to the extent of the federal offices of Punjab, Baluchistan were all right, but only the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, these persons who came said कि जी हमारे यहाँ सही नहीं हुआ. So that would of course give maybe Peshawar High Court. You are not saying that because the Election Commission of Pakistan is based in Islamabad, the primary jurisdiction is Islamabad. That's you're not.
No, man, I am not saying that. What I am saying is that when I passed the first order invalidating their election,
Where did you pass that order?
23rd, 11th.
Where?
My lord, that order was
in
passed in
Peshawar or
Islamabad.
here?
No, both orders were passed in Islamabad. Both orders were passed in Islamabad. First time round, when the order is passed on 23rd of November, they go and they challenge